Running in Hong Kong is like nothing in the entire world. And in this video, we're going to explore why. We're going to go through the best parts about running in Hong Kong. And I'll be revealing the number one thing that makes it so damn difficult sometimes to get outside and just go for that run. And I'm going to be putting all of this to the test with my hardest run of the week at the end of this video, my tempo run, my arch nemesis. And we're going to see if I can finally hit my times on this tempo run. Now, Hong Kong is one of those places that really does have it all. You've got the big city lights, the neon lights, the big buildings, the big bustling business district, which you can run through. And then you've also got the beaches, the mountains, the trails, all on your doorstep, just about half an hour away from wherever you are. We've got the waterfront as well along the promenade, which the city's done a great job of building out so that you can run a really, really good distance along just the waterfront. But when you live here, you've got plenty of options of where to run, but it depends what you want, because it can get very busy if you decide to stick to the streets of Hong Kong. And then you also have some select open spaces that you can run at as well, which a lot of people choose to do. This right here is a place called Happy Valley Racecourse. It's on Hong Kong Island, which is the main island in Hong Kong, obviously. Now, this is one of the rare places here because it is an open area and public use. So even though Hong Kong is filled with skyscrapers and hustling, bustling city life, this is a protected area where loads of people come down and exercise. Every morning, every evening, it's always packed with runners, with people coming down. And it's really one of my favorite places in Hong Kong. It avoids the traffic lights, avoids the city life, and it is quite magnificent as a view, I would say. Hong Kong is famous for some of its views, but this is one of my favorite places to come down and train. Now, Happy Valley is one thing, but Hong Kong is famous for trail running. And when I say famous for trail running, I mean famous for trail running. Some of the trails that you get in Hong Kong are absolutely mind-blowingly beautiful and insane. And I don't know what it is about people that come here into running, but if you live in Hong Kong and you're into running, eventually you're gonna get into trail running. It is a sport in itself. Recently there was a movie that came out called 4 Trails, and it was like a documentary style movie, and it was absolutely incredible. It combines 4 of the hardest trails in Hong Kong into this mega ultra marathon spanning, I think it was around 250 kilometer distance, and very few people have actually even completed it. Only the crazy attempt it, but it was a great documentary. I've actually spoken to one of the people, Nikki Han, a female ultra runner who's completed it twice, and she was the first woman to actually complete it. And it was crazy listening to her stories. I don't know what it is about ultra runners, but they're just tapped differently, you know. I'd like to say that I'd never get into it, but you just never know. My running at the moment is, it's enough for me. It's enough for me. But that's the thing about Hong Kong. You know, you've got these flat areas like Happy Valley where people go and they flock to run when you know you've got a loop going. But if you don't want that, if you don't want the monotony, if you don't want it to be the same every time, then you can go off and you can find these trails to explore. And some of the views you get are really, really insane. Varying degrees of difficulty. If you're a little bit of an explorer, the Hong Kong trails are for you. All right, enough messing about now. Time to get ready for the dreaded tempo run. Oh, God. So this is like my arch nemesis in running, to be honest with you. In my program, I've got easy runs, long runs, interval runs, and tempo runs. And I don't know what it is about tempo runs, but I struggle so much with hitting my paces and everything along those lines. I think it might be from my rugby background, because intervals are I'm quite familiar with intervals, if that makes sense. When I was a rugby player, you do sprints, you'd sprint, you'd stop, you'd sprint, you'd stop, you'd sprint, you'd stop. Whereas intervals are probably the mode of training that I'm least familiar with still 3 years after retiring from rugby. But hey, this is why we do it, practice. So now we're finally here, about to start the tempo run. I can reveal the one hardest thing about running here in Hong Kong. And you might have guessed it by now, but yes, it's the climate, it's the weather. Wow, wow, wow. It is insanely difficult. Right now in Hong Kong, it is in summer, coming to the end of summer, but summer's so long here. I'm here at 6:30 in the morning because that is the only time that I can bear the temperature. However, even at 6:30 in the morning, it is about 27 degrees and it will be 85 to 100% humidity. It's feeling particularly humid today, let's put it that way. Oh, someone's bitten me. Fucker. For those of you that know this type of climate, you'll know how much of an effect that has on running. For those of you that don't, well, let me try and explain it as best as I can. When you're running in the cold, your heart rate stays a lot lower. You're working less hard to do the same body of work. As soon as the temperature goes up and the humidity goes up, your heart rate also goes up because you're working harder just to do the same amount of work that you were doing in winter or in a cooler climate. So when you're coming into summer here in Hong Kong, or in any warmer climate for that matter, your times are going to get slower. Fact, you won't be PBing in races, most likely, and you're basically just getting a body of training in over the summer months, intense training, trying to get your body used to it. And then in the winter seasons, that is when the PBs come and that is when the training starts paying off. Well, that's the plan anyway. Now, one thing I do need to mention as well is that in Hong Kong, because of the climate, because of the weather, one thing that is incredibly important before you run and during life here, hydration. Hydration, hydration, hydration. It is an absolute battle here if you don't hydrate properly. I remember story time. When I first moved to Hong Kong 5 years ago, and it's not about exercise. I went on my first couple of nights out in Central in Hong Kong, and I was drinking normally like I was when I was in the UK, but the next day I was so ill. I was throwing up all day and I was just in bed. I didn't realize why it was so different here. And then it came to me, I didn't have a single drink of water whilst I was going out, which maybe I wouldn't do sometimes in the UK as well, but you're just stood outside and you're just sweating constantly. So people who live in Hong Kong in summer, this has got electrolytes in. It's not just about drinking electrolytes when you're exercising. I'll drink electrolytes even when I'm just living here in summer because it is that intense. So I do my training in the mornings. I do my running in the mornings. I go to the gym in the afternoons. So this morning, my alarm went off at 5:30. Coffee, fuel, hydration, prep. That's what I do before the runs. Coffee for some caffeine, obviously. I've got a small pot of oats that I drink, which is about 450 calories every time. That gives me some carbs and sugars so that I've got energy for the run. And then hydration. I've already had a tab of electrolytes plus creatine. Now this is my second tab of electrolytes that I'm bringing with me for the run. Now I think it's time for me to stop messing around and start warming up for this run. Ah, beautiful, hey? I'm really procrastinating here, really procrastinating. I'm gonna tell you about the session now because when I start running, it's gonna be incredibly difficult to talk. Not only because I'm gonna be battling, but also I'm gonna be super sweaty. So reaching for my phone and camera whilst running is gonna be very difficult. So the run today, as I said, it is my tempo session of the week. I'm on a new program this week, so I've ran the last 2 days consecutively, so this is my third day, which is quite new for me. I've done 12K and 11K. I've done an interval session and an easy run, and today is my tempo run. 11 kilometers progressive. I've got 3 kilometer warm up, 3 kilometers at a conversational pace, it says. And now this is where it gets meaty. There's no rest. The body of the session, the main bulk of the session after the warm up, we have 2 kilometers at a 4:30 per kilometer pace. Then after that, we have another 2 kilometers, no rest, at a 4:15 pace. And then again, after that, no rest, straight into another 2 kilometers at a 4:05 pace. Now after that, there is a 90-second rest before we do a 2 kilometer cool down at a conversational pace. But really, as you can tell here, the main body is that 6 kilometer block in the middle where there is no rest and the times get progressively faster and faster and faster. So we're gonna see, given everything that you now know about running in Hong Kong, the conditions, the hydration, the fueling, the temperature, we're gonna see if I can finally hit these times in a tempo run. Let's see if we can do it. If you made it this far, drop me a subscribe, drop me a like, let me know down in the comments if you think I'm gonna make it or not. 3 kilometer warm up, starting now. Ease into it, always start a bit slow and then build up. I sometimes find it difficult on these tempo runs though, because you start slow and then you're expected to go to that 4:15 pace. So I'll probably get a few strides in this warm up just to get me familiar with that pace. Okay, I'm 100 meters away from starting the tempos now. So it's time to lock in, crank the tunes up, and pray that we can get this done and hit our times. Let's go. See you at the end. Nearly on the final 2K. I don't know if I'm hitting the pace. My legs are so heavy. I feel the last few training days quite a lot, but I've got the tunes blasting. We've got lots of other runners around here as well, which are getting me through. Just gotta dig deep now. 2.5K to go at the fastest pace of the session, and then it's a cool down. Come on, I really want to hit these paces. It will be my first tempo run in Hong Kong in a long, long time that I've hit if I do this. Come on. Tempo done. That was so hard. Come on. I've got 2 kilometer cool down now, and then we'll debrief at the end. All right, guys, we are back at the house. It was brutal, and so I had to rush back home, shower. I was dripping in sweat, and obviously get some food down me. So let me get this out of the way. And now it's time to check the times. So the actual session itself is a tempo run, progressive run, 11K. We were going for 3K warm-up at a conversational pace. I don't pay attention to the conversational paces it gives here because it's really whatever you're comfortable with. And then this is the bulky part, the middle bit. 2K at 4:30, 2K at 4:15, and then 2K at 4:05. So they are the times that I was desperate to hit. And then a 2K warm down. First 2 kilometers, 4:24. So tick, because that was the 4:30 pace. Second 2 kilometers, 4:13. Tick, because that was 4:15 target. And then the last 2 kilometers, which was a 4:05 pace, I managed to get 4:01. So tick, tick, tick. Oh, fantastic news. Happy days. But that is it. That is running in Hong Kong. If you did like the video, give it a like, give it a subscribe. Stay tuned because I've got some big videos coming up around training and a potential training camp in Vietnam next week. Have a good one, guys, and I will see you in the next one.